Hi everyone. Happy full moon in Capricorn 2024. I had decided to do an energy reading for today. It feels like it's a very powerful day, and I've been feeling this energy for a while leading up to this, for probably the better part of the year. But also, this is meant to be timeless. And so, if you come across this at any point, even if it's, in the next year, anytime in the future, that it's meant for you at that point. So, what I've been feeling is abundance and freedom, abundance and freedom, abundance and freedom. And of course, that sounds wonderful, but I've been feeling it more as, a premonition as opposed to a desire. I feel as though it's what we're moving towards, and abundance in the sense of, yes, financially, a lot of financial abundance, and but also just abundance in general, abundance of love, abundance of self-worth, abundance of feeling as though you have just in life whatever you need to make you feel fulfilled on all of the important levels. But it does line up with something that my dad actually used to talk about all the time, in the Hindu tradition, these cycles that humanity goes through. And the cycle that we had been in for a very long time is the cycle of Kali Yuga. Yuga being the cycle, Yuga, Kali, Kali, being the cycle that we were in. And you can look this up, Google it, which is going to seem ironic that I'm saying this when you hear the rest of this reading, but just look it up, Kali Yuga. It was the cycle of the dark ages, the time when we were really feeling a lot of suffering. Having a global pandemic made a lot of sense. But right now we're actually in the transition, moving into the cycle of Satya Yuga, Satayuga, which is basically the golden times when humanity is going to just be feeling in all the ways so much better. So obviously, tapping into abundance and freedom, which I know it's not just me, I know a lot of people have been feeling into that, makes perfect sense, like feeling that energy. What I've been feeling along with that is abundance and freedom, surrender, and creativity. So finding that abundance through surrender and through your own creativity, which that sounds wonderful, of course. So let me kind of go into a little bit of, this is literal, but it's also an analogy of how I've been experiencing that. So when we think of abundance, we think obviously abundance comes first, and then you have freedom. You get your finances in order, and then you can be more free. You can travel if you want, you can do what you want. But sometimes we might feel as though being abundant and free, like, maybe they don't go together. That probably is more the feeling of the previous cycle that we were in, that we would feel that way. Like, how can you be abundant? How can you be a millionaire if you're not working all the time? But really, what I've been feeling is that you are going to first primarily find your freedom, and then through your freedom, you're going to become abundant, which is so cool. So this is, again, that kind of like literal and analogy. So recently I decided to go into kind of like trying to detox a little bit from my phone. Thank you very much to one of my good friends, Jamie, who mentioned this. She said that she was detoxing from her phone, and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I just started with, trying not to look at my phone as much. And I almost immediately realized that just in putting it down for like a little while, when I picked it back up, I felt sick, like mentally and physically. It made me like feel like a little bit nauseous. I felt like instantly no matter what I was looking at, I felt like a dip of feeling sad. And I was like, oh. So I started, like thinking about it a little bit more. And I was like, okay, I really need to like take this seriously. And I was trying to really like put the phone off, like put it on do not disturb, like even put on airplane mode so there's no Wi-Fi. And I felt like a lot of fear about actually turning it off, like all the way off. So the more I was putting it down, the sicker I felt when I picked it up. And this is just within the past couple of weeks. And then I started thinking, like, it's not just the phone. And I mean, I know this is kind of obvious to most of us, but it was like more of like this, like real like aha. And I was like, yeah, it's the TV too. It's like, it's technology. And I was like, okay, I got to try and detox from technology. And that felt kind of also like really scary. And so I looked into it even more. I kind of like Googled, which isn't that, again, ironic. Let me Google about detoxing from technology. But, and I Googled and I thought about it and I felt about it and was like, okay, so it's also like food, like it's distractions. It's okay. It's things that when I like go to them, whether it's just like a little bit or a lot, like it's distracting me. It is, if you do look it up, there is that whole idea of like the dopamine detox where these are certain things that it's giving you like a burst of dopamine and you get addicted to it and that's why you have to detox from it. But it's a distraction, even if it's just like foods with sugar in them, or you have that moment where you get a little high and it's distracting you from yourself and from the present moment. So I was just thinking, like, what else is it? It's also, obviously along with the technology, texting, it's like sending the message, getting the message back. It's like you have that, like, it's like ding, ding, ding. Like your brain is like, you're getting that like reward hit, but it's taking you out of yourself. And so I was thinking more and more, and I was like, God, it's also like chit-chatting. I mean, chit-chatting is like great. Oh, obviously, like I am in no way, shape, or form promoting like anyone feeling lonely. Chit-chatting is awesome, but if you're just chit-chatting because you can't stand to like be quiet and like feel your own feelings, then it's also that. So I've been, really noticing like, okay, like what happens when I am detoxing from these things. And I'm kind of, in this reading, I guess, like the reason I've been feeling all this is to put it out there and invite, everyone else to maybe like look into this. Like how does it feel when you go outside, if you have a porch, if you have a yard, wherever you might be able to go, and your phone maybe is off. And I don't mean off like just put face down. I mean off, like shut off. And you go outside and you sit down. Like what do you hear? Like what do you notice? And for me, like where I live, it's gonna, it's different for everybody, and there's no right or wrong. It's just, what do you hear? It's just the question. I hear a lot of birds chirping. I hear sometimes cars going by, depending on if I'm doing this actually outside or just from inside. If I'm outside, I hear people walking by. Just might be someone by themselves. I might hear just their feet, or I might hear people talking if they're out for a walk together. You hear the wind blow, you hear just things in the distance. There's a little firehouse up the block from me. Sometimes I hear little things from up there. But it's just the question, what do you hear? And then I, feel like for everybody, even if you're really good at this stuff already, there comes that moment when you're experiencing this and you get that that wave. It might be different. Some people might get it in a couple of minutes. Some people might get it in an hour, 2 hours, but it comes over you. You get that wave, and it's like actually the withdrawal, like, and your mind is going to start telling you things. It's going to start telling you, yeah, you signed up for that class next weekend. Like, what time does that start? You better go up. You better go turn your phone on and check. Like, you don't want to be late, even though it's in a week. You better go check right now. Like, or, something else, just something else that you need to go look up that isn't like urgent, but your mind all of a sudden is telling you that, you probably should go turn on your phone right now. And it's like it's like a withdrawal wave. And that's when I kind of was like, oh, so what happens when your mind says, yeah, you're sitting out here on the porch, it's kind of humid. Remember you bought that lemonade? And yeah, like, even though there's a lot of sugar in it, you did buy the organic kind, and it's really cold because it's up in your refrigerator. You should probably go up there and get some so that you can like drink it. And like, when your mind starts telling you those things, what happens when you take a deep breath and breathe into that? That's when you start to, like, the question is like, then what do you feel? Like, what do you feel? And there's no right or wrong, but that's when you feel your feelings. And that's what all of this is distracting you from. It's distracting you from feeling your feelings, and it's distracting you from feeling who you are. Like, you are the one that is sitting there. You're hearing the birds chirping. You're hearing cars going by. You're hearing whatever noises. You're hearing the firehouse up the block. You're able to finally hear yourself, your higher self, what your higher self has to say, what your higher self wants you to know. And going through life with all these distractions, and I'm sorry, I don't care if you're a registered yoga teacher, 500 hour, like, you're doing this too. We're all doing it. We're all distracting ourselves to some degree. The more you think about it, the more you look into it, the more you feel into it, you're going to realize you're distracting yourself from what your higher self is saying to you, your higher self. However that resonates with you, that you can think of it as your connection to God, your connection to the divine, you're literally just your higher version of yourself, your soul, your source connection. But it's your wiser self. It's your heart energy. It's all of that wise energy that you've accumulated over lifetimes. That's like, I have a lot to tell you. So when you take that deep breath, that's where all of the information is. When you have questions of, how do I access abundance and freedom in my life, that's where your actual creativity is, your creativity that was given to you for the better of humanity, for, your highest and best. Like, that's where your true creativity is. And I'm going to tell you, it's so easy and it's always right. So, I feel like today, this day, and again, if you find it on another day, that's fine. It's meant for you on that day. But this full moon in Capricorn is about like moving forward onto, if you want to call it, a higher timeline, but, transitioning into that new cycle, that Satya Yuga, that cycle where, we are going to just be so much more easily abundant and free. Like, that's where all of that is. Like, when you close your eyes and you meditate and you ask, like, what do I need to know? What do I need to do? Or even just what? So that's what I've been feeling into, and that's what I'm kind of putting out there and offering. And if this resonates with you, please, like, let me know what you're thinking, if you've been feeling any of this, or if this kind of like gives you like an aha moment, if it feels really scary. I know sometimes, depending on where you are in your life, depending on how much you're using technology, either to like numb yourself or to tell yourself that you're using it for whatever reasons for moving forward in your business, you know, using your phone to work from home, like whatever you're convincing yourself, like it can feel like really scary to even think about putting your phone down for just a couple of minutes. So, yeah, I'm just curious, like what you think, what you feel, and I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'm really looking forward to all the things that are to come moving forward, because I know for sure that this is going to be an amazing rest of this year and the next year when we officially transition into the, you know, that new cycle. There's just going to be so much amazing, so many amazing things for all of us to access. And it's going to be, it's available to everybody. It's just like, it's not something that you have to really do anything special. You don't have to be anybody special. You don't have to have any special beliefs. It's just like, you know, waking up from a dream. You're going to just be, you're going to be there. You're going to be in it. And so, all right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.